Ladies and gentlemen, the Pies are playing the Saints in the opening round of 2026. It's time to talk all things black and white. Ladies and gentlemen, this video is proudly sponsored by TSNL Neon, Melbourne's trusted signage specialist for commercial LED and neon signage. Visit tslsigns.com. Family owned. Link is in the description for more. How are we doing? Good morning. Happy Saturday. We get some news. And we're back in the rhythm of it all. So I'll pop up the share screen and we'll start here. Mitch Cleary, after 2 years of travelling for opening round, Collingwood is done with it. They want the load shared from 2026. Collingwood refused to travel for opening round after playing in the first 2 years on the road against GWS. And the Pies get their wish facing St Kilda, a game at the MCG against a Marvel tenant without giving up a home game. A bit to unpack here, for sure, because there's a lot of discourse around this subject of Collingwood and opening round and what space do I live in when we talk about opening round and the Pies? I've come to learn and accept and live in the space of we are the biggest club in Australia. Factual, if not top two, right? The league is not fair. The fixtures are not fair. There are lots of things that it's not a level playing field. The academies, the father sons, the travel, like speak to the Western Australian sides that have to travel all the time. So what I'm getting at is, as a fan, if Collingwood had to have gone to to Canberra again or wherever it may be, an interstate opening round game, then so be it. I think we as fans we fall into this pit of, why are we the league's cash cows? It's because we are. It's because we are. So why don't we just live with that, wear it, and keep it rolling? And just move on from the... Do I say we're a victim? I don't know. I don't play the victim's mentality card. I think embrace it. I mean, yeah, we lost last year, but then look at the run we went on, along with the difficulty of the fixture that was handed over to the Pies last year. So what was seen as, wow, this is incredibly difficult. We're starting in opening round, and then we've got to play all these great teams that were in the top 8 the year before. And look how we came out of that, and look at the confidence it gave us. So, like, the path is the way. Whatever is set ahead of you, you just tick it off one by one. Turn over the stone step by step. So there's that, okay, that we talk about. And then now we lead into the opportunity that Collingwood have to play in Melbourne in opening round against St Kilda. People have qualms with that. People still have an issue with that, Collingwood fans or whatever it may be. People are upset that Collingwood have wriggled their way out of an interstate travel to a GWS. So I'll leave that for them. But I think that this is a great idea. Look, opening round is opening round. It is what it is. It's a way to bring eyes to northern states. And I actually like the alteration where they have implemented a Victorian game at the end of the round. So you start in northern states and then you make your way all the way back to the helm of where footy is lived and breathed. Fuck, I don't know. But it's the helm. It's the footy mecca, the MCG, right? So you start in northern states, you get there, and you play against the Saints, who are, I'm led to believe it's their 60th year anniversary for the flag they won, right? Tie that in with the amount of hype that they've generated, and it's hype that's warranted. TDK, re-sign Naz, Flanders, Liam Ryan. They've just the next 12 to 24 months, the 12 to 36 months for the Saints is massive. And I think memberships will speak to that for them on their behalf. And I mean, look, once again, it's not a fair league because guess what? Collingwood will get to play St Kilda in St Kilda's home game at the G as opposed to the concrete field in Marvel. So, like, that's a little win for the Pies. It's a little win for the Pies without having to give up a home game. So that's where fans from other clubs are going to be upset. I'm really, really going to make a solid effort because naturally that is the way I go about things. Collingwood, I don't know, for some reason, they hit a soft spot, but I'm going to make a concerted effort next year just to not talk about or complain about being a cash cow for the league. Like that's business. That is business at the end of the day. It is what it is. That's all we can. What's there to talk about? Or do we want to sound like a broken record? Or do you want people coming over to the channel from other fans from other clubs coming on to this channel just to listen to us bitch and moan about we're the cash cows, we're this, that, and the other. So I'm going to try and move away from that. But like I said, all in all, okay, we're playing at the G. We're playing an away game at the G against the Saints. I think it's a great team to match up against, given where they're at in this point in time. And beyond all of that, I mean, I'm not too fast. I'm reading some comments. Most looked after club in the history of sports. Collingwood cry to the AFL and get exactly what they want. Adelaide and Port have been requesting a standalone Friday night showdown for literally a decade and been denied every time. The competition is national and yet the Vic bias is still in full effect. Yeah, I don't know if I subscribe to that. I mean, like most of the other games we've been playing in Northern States. 90,000 at the Pies versus Saints Labor Day Eve. That's huge. That's huge. It makes a mockery of the concept of opening rounds to have two Melbourne clubs playing a game in Melbourne. Not that I'm defending opening round. I don't like the way it compromises the draw, but this extra game makes no sense. It doesn't necessarily have to make sense, if that makes sense. The idea is you travel to the Northern States and then you finish where it all you finish at the Footy Coliseum for one game. Why can't we just bend these rules? It's not a big deal. Like, it doesn't have to be that, guys. We say that, and then we look back at the last two opening rounds, and we're like, man, it doesn't even feel like the round has started. The season has started because in Melbourne, there's no games. And this is the biggest pool of supporters in Melbourne, Victoria. Why not just have one game to close out opening round so that we can feel like the ball is rolling? There was always that feeling of, not emptiness, but something was missing in the last two opening rounds. And I think this is a good step towards it. So, just a lot of people complaining. Anyways, interesting. I'm sure we'll talk about it more. Guys, I appreciate you all. If you've made it this far and you're new to the channel, or you've been watching and you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. And Pendles will hit his milestone or break the games record next year. That's what happens if you subscribe. I appreciate you all. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, go Pies.